Welcome to Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time. This one is sponsored by Into the AM. In fact, it was this shirt that inspired today's topic, ranking the legendary birds of magic. They have some really fun and flavorful designs, like this one, and a terrific line of basics in solid colors as well. The shirts are tailor-fitted and made of premium pre-shrunk materials, which means they'll be a staple of your wardrobe for a long, long time. Check out their bundle deals and stack that with my promo code to save yourself an additional 10%. One more thing, we are giving away 2 $50 gift cards for Into the AM. All you have to do is visit their website using my link down below. Then come back here and leave a comment telling us what you'd spend the $50 on. Nicole and I will each pick a winner 1 week after this video goes live. No purchase is necessary, but you do have to be a subscriber of this channel. And this offer is, of course, void where prohibited by law. Now, let's talk birds! Strixhaven gave us some new winged legendaries, so this seems like a good time to rank them by lore. Let me remind you how that works. Each black-bordered legendary bird that appears on 1 or more cards will be given a score from 1 to 10 in 4 categories. L stands for legendary, which measures how much of an influence this character had on the story. Do they even deserve to be a legendary card? With so many new cards being created just for Commander products, this has become a tricky category to score. Newer characters usually fare better because I'm hopeful that they might still be involved in the story somehow, but older characters can put up big numbers too if they made a lasting impact on things. O is for otherworldly. Is there something unique about this character that makes them stand out within the Magic multiverse? R is for reflection. How well does the card or cards capture what the character is capable of? Does it show their powers and abilities as stated within the story? Having multiple cards in your name can really help you here, especially if those cards show a change over time or in response to a major event. And E is for extra, which is different for each lore video. In this one, I'm using E for egg-celent, because we're talking about birds, and everyone knows birds come from eggs, right? Don't try to think too much about this one, friends. It is a video about magic birds, so just come along on the ride with me, okay? Oh, and one other thing. We are just looking at black-bordered cards from the Magic story that have the creature type bird, which means no changelings and no score for Circadian, who would otherwise easily win first place. You got it? All right then, let's find out which beak will get to wear the golden mustache as we rank every legendary bird in Magic by lore. In 18th place, we find Tashar, Ancestors Apostle from Dominaria. This was a set loaded with legendary creatures, and very few of them had any impact on the story, including this cleric who worships Sarah of Sarah Angel fame. For 17th place, we jump over to Kaldheim and find Vega the Watcher, who makes their nest in the roots of the World Tree. From this vantage point, they, well, watch over the realms and report anything unusual to Kolvari, the god of kinship, who just wants everyone to get along, man. Vega gets a pretty low egg-celent score because I'm not sure if spirit birds come from eggs. Anyway, Kaikar, Wind's Fury, is in 16th place. We don't know much about this bird wizard, not even what plane they're supposed to be on, but I do like how they turn spirits into fireballs, I guess? I mean, that's what's happening in the art, right? He's squeezing a ghost into a freshly microwaved Hot Pocket. No? You don't think so? Okay then. Shabraz, the Sky Shark, comes next, and he's the loyal companion of Brawlin, Sky Shark Rider. Pretty bold to give yourself that nickname when you've only ever ridden one Sky Shark, if you ask me. Also, what is with Ikoria and these flying sharks? Did somebody really think this joke was good enough to use twice? Or was there a Godzilla movie that I missed? Yorion is another companion creature from Ikoria. The most interesting thing about this one is supposed to be their golden horn, which the humans of the plane want to harvest and then take turns selling back and forth to each other. As a half serpent, half bird, their egg-celent score is limited, even though serpents also come from eggs. Yes, I know this. Frankly, I think we all just hate playing against this card, and they're lucky they're not in last place just for that. Brina comes next in 13th place. She's a silver quill teacher at Strixhaven and is known for being highly charismatic and winning fights with words rather than actions, which is reflected in her card very well. 12th place gives us one of the silver quill deans, and that is Shale, who is generally an optimistic bird that believes people are naturally good. She often speaks in literary quotes unless she's watching one of her students commit an academic foul as seen on Sign in Blood. And guys, come on, academic foul? You didn't even realize that was a bird joke. You didn't. Tough crowd. Okay, Ishai comes next in 11th place. They're the personal assistant to Dragon Lord Ojutai, and any bird who can hang out with a dragon all day and not become its lunch must be pretty excellent. Ishai also appears in the Tarkir story and speaks directly to the planeswalker Narset, which is good for a bump in their legendary score. So that brings us to my top 10 feathered friends. Let's pause here and enjoy a moment with my co-host, Green Cup. You know, I feel bad I left you out of the last episode. I don't know how that happened. I won't do it again. Okay. Love you too. For 10th place, we go to Derevi, the brilliant commander of Bant. She met the hordes of Grixis in combat and won, and used her diplomacy to divert the forces of Esper. She's known as being disciplined but fair, and she holds the respect and admiration of her troops. Her card even does a great job reflecting her battlefield skills, letting you strategically tap or untap things, or come flying out of the command zone, ready to ambush your opponent. Mavinda takes 9th place. She's the guidance counselor at Strixhaven, and uses empathy magic to better understand her students and help them adjust to life on campus. We're also told she can turn that skill into debilitating emotional attacks when threatened, but I want to point out she was curiously absent when the mage hunters started swarming the school, so I'll let you judge how useful her powers were when the chips were down. In 8th place, we find Isior, Wardwing Familiar, who granted the Ward ability before it was cool. Isior is perfectly excellent because they are 100% pure bird, and they are described as being the ideal familiar, and to her, you are family. That's all pretty good, but we don't know what plane she's on or who she's currently familiar to, which lowers some of her other scores just a bit. Imbraham, Dean of Theory, comes next in 7th place. As part of the Quandrix College, he would offer bounties on unsolved mathematical equations that went unclaimed for a long time, until he met Zimone, who started to make bank. The Dean also shows up in the main story, and he does his best to protect a group of students during the Mage Hunter's onslaught, which means he's capable of action as well as deep thought, which I think makes him a pretty well-rounded character. How do you like that well-rounded math joke? You don't like it? Okay, just checking. For 6th place, we're going all the way back to the days of Torment, with Major Taro, who became the leader of the Order after Piana and Kurtar both died. Taro was aggressive in their attacks against the Cabal, and in retaliation, they sent Chainer after the Aven, and that's him in Chainer's Edict, being devoured by flesh-eating insects. Lieutenant Kurtar scores a bit better, even though they died first. Kurtar was also a proud and somewhat reckless leader of the Order, and entered pit fights against the Cabal in the hopes of showing how superior his side was. He even won a prize during one of the pit fights, and it happened to be a supremely powerful magical artifact called the L.O.R.E. The L.O.R.E eventually made Kurtar turn on his own allies, and then consumed him as well, which is what led to Taro becoming the new leader of the Order. But we just covered how well that went. Outliving and outscoring them both was Commander Isha, who was more cautious than her predecessors. She took a more defensive and peaceful approach to her leadership of the Order, and her protection from creatures makes her pretty much unflappable. All right, we're gonna blame Nicole for that one. That brings us to third place with Akim the Soaring Wind, a dinosaur from Ikoria. Orphaned as a hatchling, Akim was adopted by a flock of birds who treated him like family. Now he's fully grown and is fiercely protective of his tribe. And of course, as we all know, dinosaurs are related to chickens, and chickens are birds, which makes Akim a double bird, and therefore full of egg-celents. Haka, Whispering Raven, takes second place. He's the personal familiar of L.O.R.E, god of the cosmos, and he travels between the realms of Kaldheim, keeping an eye on things. I wonder how many times Vega has come to share information, only to find out Haka beat him to it by like a minute. That's gotta be super frustrating, right? Anyway, time for our number one bird, who is the only one to have 2 legendary cards. That is Kanji, who helped Dominaria survive the Phyrexian invasion way back in the day. Many warriors followed Kanji, and many apprentice wizards studied under him, but one of his best assets was his army of hawks that were able to keep an eye on things for hundreds of miles in every direction. The Phyrexians didn't find much strategic value in taking Kanji's land, which was a place called Otaria. So he was able to mount a counteroffensive from there and use his flyers to knock Phyrexian dropships out of the sky before they could land their horrors elsewhere across the plain. While this alone probably did not change the course of the invasion, it certainly did save some lives, and probably made the Phyrexians think twice about underestimating bird wizards ever again. Kanji, for your valiant efforts in defending Dominaria, and for being an all-around excellent bird, I award you the Golden Mustache, and declare you first among your kind when ranked by lore. Thanks again to Into the AM for supplying the shirt that inspired today's video. Use the link down below to get your own, or leave a comment to enter the gift card giveaway we talked about earlier. Then make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. We'll see ya.